As Ry Cooder's slide guitar sounds melancholy echoes, the man suddenly appears in the desert, walking purposely toward some vague destination off in the distance. His sun-baked face covered with several days of beard, his pinstripe suit dusty and ill-matched with a red baseball cap, he is plainly driven by some inner demons. Just as plainly, he isn't going to last much longer. That's how Harry Dean Stanton first appears in Paris, Texas, the classic 1984 drama directed by Wim Wenders from a screenplay credited to Sam Shepard and L.M. Kit Carson. And while taking stock of the much-respected actor on the occasion of his passing, Stanton died Friday in Los Angeles at the age of 91, I cannot help viewing that unforgettable image as metaphoric. After a long trudge through a wilderness of secondary roles, he finally broke through in this film to get the attention he so richly deserved. Of course, like most metaphors, this one requires as much romanticized interpretation as clear-eyed observation. By 1984, Stanton had already established himself as a familiar face, if not quite a household name, through nearly 3 decades of TV and movie appearances. Several weeks before Paris, Texas, he had begun a next-level ascendancy by blowtorching his way through Alex Cox's Repo Man as a caustically cynical yet insanely driven auto-repossessor who takes ferocious pride in his work. The life of a repo man is always intense. But never mind, print the legend. Paris, Texas allowed Stanton to demonstrate he was more than ready for his close-up by giving him the signature role of Travis Henderson, a forlorn wanderer who, for reasons only gradually made clear, exiled himself from his brother, Dean Stockwell, and his much younger wife, Nastasia Kinski, years earlier, and returned to his half-remembered roots for, if not forgiveness, then understanding. Stanton's utterly fearless performance is so unaffectedly mesmerizing in its stripped-to-essentials authenticity, it seems like something torn out of a soul by the bloody roots. While watching him, the audience immediately grasps Travis is a man who has survived a hell largely of his own making, but who knows he has not yet finished suffering. He is funny but never silly, vulnerable yet strong, longing to belong and always an outcast. There's little self-pity to Travis, and even less bitterness. He reveals a flash of anger only once, briefly, when speaking to his sister-in-law about the absent mother of his young son. The sudden eruption of passion has the impact of a fist dropped down onto a table, and during a long, climactic monologue, in which Travis explains himself and seeks forgiveness, you can almost hear his heart shattering into a zillion slivers. It is a moment comparable only to the final shot in Charlie Chaplin's City Lights, another indelible portrait of a man who feels totally unworthy of the woman he loves. Repo Man and Paris, Texas arrived in theaters within months of each other in 1984, the year Stanton turned 58, and can be viewed in retrospect as the launch of a remarkable 2-year stretch during which Stanton revealed his protean range by portraying several strikingly diverse characters. Consider, during this period, he was Mr. Eckert, a defiant father of young guerrillas in Russian-occupied America who urges his sons to avenge him in John Milius' Red Dawn, Brother Bud, a sly con artist preacher who plots to exploit townspeople earnestly awaiting extraterrestrials, but privately admits to the possibility of genuine miracles, in John Binder's criminally underrated Euphoria, Gideon, a sad-eyed, weather-beaten cowpoke intent on earning his wings as a guardian angel, literally, not figuratively, for a cash-strapped family in Philip Borso's One Magic Christmas, and 2 more fathers, a kindly yet discontent dad for Molly Ringwald in Howard Deutsch's John Hughes-scripted Pretty in Pink, and an enigmatic and domineering wastrel who fathered, with 2 different women, the on-again, off-again lovers played by Sam Shepard and Kim Basinger in Robert Altman's film of Shepard's Fool for Love. I had my first and only opportunity to interview Stanton during a 1985 press gathering for Fool for Love, in a Manhattan hotel suite where I initially found him, I regret to say, in a mood alternating between exhaustion and anger. It was his 6th interview of the day, and he wasn't holding up well. His weary, bloodshot eyes resembled road maps of purgatory. His chin collapsed into his chest as he considered questions. Raising it again required a visible strain. Occasionally, a hacking cough caused him to tremble. For the most part, though, he was exceedingly still, slow to speak and frequently pausing, as though he were fumbling for the right word. "Yeah," he began ominously, "I had an interview this morning. Some woman, she didn't have. She's lame, you know. Walking wounded. What did she say to upset you, Harry?